Hello, I'm Stuart Goldsmith, and today I'm talking to an American comedian newly based in the UK called Will Franken. He does an act that's a really unique sort of a one-man sketch show, and he's really passionate about artistic freedom. As ever, if you'd like to hear the rest of our conversation, you can download the full audio podcast from comedianscomedian.com. I think it's worth noting that your work has so many different characters in it, accents, voices, situations, and I wonder how much you've seemed like you've had quite a varied life. That you see everything as a starting point for the work that you do.
Yeah.
Do you think that's true? Do you think you're kind of almost like a vacuum of just sucking up experience and turning it into?
Yeah, usually like I'll do a character sometimes if I hate somebody. And I find that it's the best way to.
Okay.
Yeah, my ex-agent who fired me because I asked for an advance for lodging. Am I allowed to talk about this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, but she reminded me of Eric Idle in drag. She'd do a lot of the no, but right, but no, but yes, but no, but no, I don't think, but yes, but no. And it was, kind of a, so if something perturbs me with somebody, I'll usually grasp onto that, and it'll find its way into something. And then sometimes I do it out of love too, like. My mate Richie from Calvin, he's a great guy, but it's my way of sort of carrying him with me wherever I go.
Okay.
My dad, he's in a lot of my stuff.
Okay.
In various manifestations. And,
sure.
It's weird because it is such a psychological working out of. Comedians are crazy people. Mm-hmm. Really, we're really damaged people, and that's what bothers me about the industry sometimes is that the industry we have an industry now in the entertainment industry that. For the first time ever, actually expects the comedians to be sane and normal.
Yes.
In other words, half businessman and half funny, and there really is no compromise.
Absolutely. That I think is what all comedians want, is to be able to have their own venue that people come to see them, certainly in the UK, and not need to hack up and down motorways every night.
Well, I love the hacking up and down. What was great about that, though, was it did force me, every month. It was kind of like a mini Fringe, because I would do an hour and a half show, and I would write a brand new 90 minutes. What? Every month, and I would title the show because that's how I made my money. That's how I paid my rent.
Okay.
So I would say, "What's the title of the show?" And it'd be like, what was one of them? "Grandpa, it's not fitting."
Sure.
This weird line would come to me, and then about 2 weeks before, I'd be like, "Holy shit, I gotta write a show!" And all the marketing.
So you'd write 90 minutes of material in 2 weeks, and then would you do it once, or would you do a run of that?
Yeah, it was a one-off. I did 2 runs.
This is insane. That's so unusual. Okay.
Yeah. It is very unusual. It was bad marketing strategy, I think. I mean, I had that fan base that came back.
Sure.
And it was a nice shot of cash. Once a month, it would be your money for rent. And
let's look at the writing process. How do you come up with 90 minutes of material in 2 weeks? How do you? What were any of the starting points, the processes that you used to do that?
Geez, that's a tough one. And I know this is the most important question.
Mm-hmm.
I never write anything down.
Okay.
What I do is an idea comes to me. And I talk it out in the voice over and over and over until it sticks.
In a room on your own?
Yeah, and that's hard to find.
Yeah.
Out here, it's because it's so mad. I feel like I can walk around and talk to myself openly, but I am paranoid about people looking at me.
Okay, so to work on material, you'd have the idea, you'd go for a walk somewhere near your house.
Yeah.
And just be talking out loud yourself, working the stuff out.
Mm-hmm. The cabbie that I do.
I'm so glad to hear this, because a couple of days ago on this show, one act, I can't remember who, I think it was Andrew Maxwell, was basically having a go at me for having tried something similar myself. Because he just thought that was preposterous. So I'm thrilled to hear that someone else has done it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
When you talk about seeing other stars, I mean, that's something I'm sure a lot of other comedians can relate to, is seeing someone else be brilliant and going, oh God, what's the point? Do you suffer from, I mean, you mentioned getting depressed from it. Mm-hmm. Do you suffer from any kind of worries or problems or depression based on the nature of this industry? This is a particular kind of topic of mine, because I suffer phenomenally from anxiety of work-related stuff. Yeah, terribly, yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of heartbreaks, I took 2 of my podcasts down because I named people by name. Because you do expect them to be human, and they're not. And if you can accept it, they're not human, I know this sounds really bleak. And
Go on.
Serial killer.
Who do you mean? Would you expect partners? You expect partners to be human?
I'm talking about industry.
Industry people.
You expect the industry.
I see.
Yeah, you expect them to be your friend.
Yeah.
And you can't make that decision. You can't make that assumption.
So you've named industry people, and then
from years
they've been
ago.
angry about it.
Because there was an agent in New York, and I was always trying to get an agent, because I always thought once I get an agent, then I'll have that filter to be seen. And my friend John Colleary, you know him from Dublin?
I don't know.
Great stand-up. Okay. And a real good guy, real good Irishman. And he says, we live in this day where the industry is no longer a filter. Mm-hmm. It actually wants to be creative, and that's a problem. And see, back in the day, they knew their place. We are just the people that have the means to get this heard, and now they want to go, what you should try to do is but wear a little red wig or something like that, and immediately their hands are involved, and the art is gone. Python went to the BBC. I love this. The BBC exec came to the guys at Python. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. They were going to call it Flying Circus. Nobody knew what it was. But the BBC exec came in and said, we here at the BBC like to stay one step ahead of public opinion. And that is such an anti-American approach. But the idea that we're going to stay one step ahead of public opinion, thereby we're going to shape it. Yeah. We're going to bring them something different. I don't think they'd have that nowadays. I think too many people would get involved and muck it up somehow. So the thing that really depressed me about that was I remember somebody one time read a review, an interview that an agent from LA had given, saying what they're looking for, and they said some of the most depressing words I've ever heard. They said, talent only plays a small part. What we're really looking for is somebody who's a good guy to hang out with. And I thought, I'm fucked. I'm a good guy to hang out with, but I have to like the people I hang out with. Yeah. That's the problem. Sure. That's why a lot of people from LA I just don't like. I have friends down there, but if it's like they're a salesman, I can't fake it. I would rather be smoking by myself, having a beer, watching an old movie. Life's too short, and I've never been good at that. Right. Okay. So you're with so and so. It's a totally different mindset, and I blame the working class aspect on that sometimes, and then other times I realize I'm just happier not getting too much into that. If they want to work with me, that's fine, but just don't pin your hopes too much on it. The beauty is the live shows. The beauty is, as frustrating as this festival can be sometimes, the beauty is doing those random slots. Or doing something like this, or getting on and doing 10 minutes at some bar in the middle of nowhere, and that's the rock and roll part of it, and that's the thing I forget a lot.
Are you hoping that the move to the UK will result in, or is it kind of, it's an escape from those sort of producer-led things? Are you? Yeah. Okay.
See, what I want is very simple, and last year I got an agent, and I was, 10 years I've been trying to get an agent, and I finally get one, and it's like, it was real quick. It was like, right. And this year, I'm talking to people, but I'm much more honest this time. Last year I was a little scared, and I was like, don't mess it up. You might have an agent. And it's like it's like with women. And no offense, but as a man, no matter how much we say we've progressed, you still have to pretend that you're not that interested. And it's hard when you're really interested and you think, oh my gosh, this pretty agent wants to work with me. Oh my gosh, see, Dad was wrong. I am important, and all this psychological stuff comes to the fore. And this year, I'm just really clear with what I want. See, last year, because they're thinking film and TV. I want to be on film and TV. I would love to be on film and TV. Chris Morris did some wonderful things with TV. And for some reason, he got to do it his own way, which is a rarity. Complete creative control. That's brilliant. But this year, when I'm meeting with people, I'm saying, what, the most important thing for me is to stay in this country and do those little gigs out in Neath or Beccles or Lowestoft or wherever that is.
It's delightful to hear those words in your accent.
I love those places, man. I love it. And then when you make a group of strangers, like a group of 40 out in the middle of nowhere laughing, you get $100, and you can go off and buy a pork pie and a can of Stella. To me, that's it. That's all I want. And I know I'm aiming low. I know I'm really aiming low. But I like that.
Thanks for watching. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to it, or even share it with your friends. And do remember, you can download the full audio podcast from comedianscomedian.com.